Hey there, it's Michael Greenwood. Right, so for this video, we're going to be talking about the Canon R6. Right, so it's quite an old camera now. This is the Mark One as well, not the Mark Two. So why am I talking about this camera in mid 2025 really, and why has it got this big lens, this zoom on it as well? I mean, it's because it's cool. It's a lovely 50 millimeter Zine manual focus cinema lens, really, with its own mount on it as well. Which, if you're going to mount this, I would suggest that you mount it. You're going to put it on a tripod. I'd suggest that you mount it like this, so it's nice and balanced, as much as you can balance maybe an R6 and a big old Zine lens. Right, so let's have a chat about this and why I'm making a video about this. So I've kind of got like a love-hate relationship with this camera, and there's a couple of things that kind of annoy me about this camera in general. But I keep it around, even though I've switched to Sony. I've gone to the A7 IV and the FX6. So on pretty much all the jobs that I do these days, I'm using Sony. So why don't I sell this? Well, for a start, it's kind of devalued so much as camera bodies do that it's almost like, I'm thinking I've still got a use for it. I've still got some old EF lenses. The EF lenses, since the RF mount came out, they've kind of devalued as well. So I might as well hold on to them. And there's actually some bargains to have. So you can get like 2.8 70 to 4 70 to 200 for a pretty good price. I picked up an F4 70 to 200, and you know what, I know it's old technology, but it still gets the job done. So you can do photography with this camera, and it still cuts the mustard. I mean, it's like camera technology. It's not like moving that fast. It's moving pretty fast, like with AI and better um, eye detect autofocus and all that kind of stuff, and animal detect autofocus and everything. But this camera is still pretty good. So what don't I like about this camera? It's the overeating on video. So I simply just don't use it for video, really. So it's mostly for photography. So it's nice to be able to just stick the Sigma 20 millimeter f1.4 Sigma art lens on there, which is a great lens, and just be able to get some photos behind the scenes and stuff like that when I've got me my Sony camera set up doing, say, an interview or something like that. So I could just take this along, and I can just get some pics, and it's just then, put away and all that kind of stuff. So it's not like I'm trying to take photos with, a Sony as well and all that kind of thing. So it's one of those things where it's kind of depreciated that much, where it's, like I said, it's not really, is it worth selling? Probably still worth selling. You still get something for it, but it's when you've paid for something, and then you think, well, you still got a use for it, you might as well just hang on to it. So yeah, it's a great, still a great camera. Is it as good as an R5? Obviously not. Is it as good as the Mark II R6? Obviously not. But for the price, it's still pretty good. So what else do you want? I mean, I'm filming this on a Canon 90D, as a webcam, into an ATEM Mini Pro ISO, as basically a video interface. I'm not even switching on this video, and this is fine as well. So the best camera to use is the camera that you've got. We don't need to be upgrading all the time. Now, is the Sony A7 IV a much better camera? For me, 100%. You've got the switches, in this position on the dial, where you can go between. I'm showing you on this camera, but just for the position. But on the Sony A7 IV, you've got the dial where you go from photo to video to the S and Q mode, which is really good. You can program everything in. Whereas with this camera, basically you're going from photo to video, and you have to change the settings, and kind of mess about. And then you're going from, normal speed 25 frames or 24 frames if you're in America, up to 60 or 50, to get your slow motion. And again, you're having to go into your settings to actually do that, go into your menu, which is not convenient at all. With the one of the main reasons that I went for the Sony A7 IV is that you can just really quickly on the fly go from normal speed video to slow motion, and the S&Q is brilliant as well. I know you get no audio with it, but it's just so much more convenient. So will I be hanging on to this? Have I considered selling it? Yeah, definitely. Um, will I be hanging on to this? Yeah, because it's just one of those workhorses. One of the things that's kind of bothered me lately was we did a job with it a couple of weeks ago, and the Arnold batteries, these which were always really good. I'm just trying if I can get focus on that. Come on, come on, 90D. Are you gonna get me focused? My eyes are not even in. Come on. Put the hand in way. Yeah, so we've got the Arnold batteries apparently starting to malfunction. So on the R6, which were a bit annoying. So I'll take out the one of the official Canon batteries, and then I'll pop this one in. Hopefully it's got charge actually. Let's see if that actually works. Um, and it is working actually, to be honest with you. Yeah, so uh, that's working just fine. So yeah, that's working just fine. I don't even know if I don't think we're in focus there, but yeah, that's working absolutely fine with that. But we've had some difficulty recently, and I've not updated the firmware on the R6. Um, and then we're out of focus again on the. Come on, 90D. What we're doing here? What we're doing, 90D? Um, yeah, yeah, we're back in. So that's the 90D's focus anyway. Some room for improvement. And again, I mean, the 90D, it's a good camera. I'm happy with it. I like how it doesn't overheat or anything like that. So using that for a webcam for now. I mean, trying to put the Sigma 20 millimeter lens hood on it. It's meant to be this bad boy, the Zine. Um, yeah, like that. So looks ridiculous, doesn't it? But yeah. So, what do you think? Have you got a Canon R6? Have you got an old camera which you like using still, even though you got like newer cameras and stuff like that? Are you taking advantage of the fact that Canon EF lenses are quite cheap now since the RF mount came out? 'Cause there's certainly some bargains, and it's so tempting. There's so many cameras out these days. Um, there's so many new camera bodies coming onto the market, that we're like spoilt for choice. It's difficult to. I mean, I like the FX3. I was looking at those. They've got the active cooling, and that's definitely one of the disadvantages of the Sony A7 IV, and that can overheat. But I've got it into the eye uh, temperature mode or whatever, as soon as I got it, basically. Um, and that's been absolutely fantastic. Whereas the R6 has overheated, or threatened to overheat a few times. It's definitely overheated twice on jobs and switched off. One on a hot summer's day and one on not so much a hot day. And yeah, so it was a bit annoying. That's back when I was shooting with Blackmagic 6K Pros, shooting with a couple of those B cam, and I thought I'd set up the R6 as a vertical, just as an extra camera, just because I could, and it overheated during the shoot. So I just thought it were unreliable. The A74s haven't done that. They have switched off occasionally, but that's been like I've been able to do like 2.5 hour pieces to camera with them, plugged into USB-C and that kind of thing. And I think one of them showed the heat warning, the temperature warning, but not like the R6, nothing like the R6. And it always makes me think, like, when I'm using the Sonys in the high temperature mode, is it kind of doing some damage and all that kind of thing? But you've got to use the camera, for what you need to use it for. Are the FX3s, the FX30, the the new one that's come out as well, the FX2, are they more fit for purpose for video? Yes, I think so. But the A7 IV, I like how it's the 7K oversampled, down to the 4K is really sharp. You can tell the difference, and it's like, do you always want the eye, the eye pixel density and all that kind of thing with video, and not always? You kind of want to, have it a little bit more cinematic, I suppose. Yeah, right. So let me know your thoughts on the R6. Have you got an old camera that you still use, even though you got like more modern cameras? You know what? I keep looking at the I do keep looking at the Lumixes as well, especially since they made the autofocus better. But the Sony eye detect autofocus is so good. It is just so good, and I'm like completely sold on the Sonys. I just love shooting with Sonys for photos, for videos. I have three of the A7 IVs in my camera bag, so I can do a free camera video podcast, and they're all just like, you'll save the settings from one memory card to the others, and you'll copy them all across, and it's just you're all on the same page from. So it's lovely to be able to shoot with two or three of the same camera, and then you don't have to, with S-Cinetone as well. That's been a game changer for my workflow. So no color grading these days, really. So anyway, a bit rambly this one, talking about cameras in general, kind of geeking out on cameras. But yeah, let me know in the comments what you like to shoot with, and I'll see you next time.